Hey, what is up, YouTube? My name is Chris. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. I should probably be looking here. So, I'm doing a review on Scream 5. I was gonna do let's get into the video, but I don't know how to do that yet, where you take a break and then, you edit this shit. So, bear with me. I'm doing this because I'm a big horror movie advocate. I love movies. My dream is to direct, write, or act in a film. Like shit, I'd even settle for doing the you know what I mean? I just want to be part of something like that. So I'm trying to use this channel to expand in the world and meet people, and why not, right? So I just went out and bought this camera. This is like my second video that I'm uploading to my YouTube channel. And I'm really going to try to do an honest review and compact everything into this video in the short time that I plan on using. And yeah, it's on Scream 5, or just Scream. Don't know why they just did that. They called it just Scream. And it just came out last week, I would say, probably. Just dropped about last week. And this movie is trash. Yo, I'm sorry. Scream 5 doesn't get a high five, gets a low five. And this movie's trash. I really hate to say that. I don't want to be like that negative reviewer, but I have to be honest. Horror movies mean a lot to me. Movies in general mean a lot to me. And I love, if you look around my room up here, my setup, yeah, I love collecting stuff, proud collector, love video games, props, posters, all that kind of stuff. And Scream is part of the whole horror genre that I love. And especially, the type of horror. I love slasher films. So, growing up, I can actually remember the first Scream movie was one of the first films that really scared me, because I can remember it being on in my house and running out of the room in the beginning with Drew Barrymore. And I actually have Drew Barrymore with us. She's right there. I got that blanket, I believe, at Hot Topic. But yeah, so we got the OG with us. And I love all the Scream movies. I really do. I love they have its moments, but they're fun. Scream 5, however, makes me want to scream, but not in fear and not in a good way. Hooray! Oh my god, I saw it! Woo! No, it's makes me want to scream in fucking anger. I really said I was going to do an honest review, so here we go. Scream 5. I had it pulled up on my phone. It's directed by two writers or directors. And it seems like they know their horror. I looked into it. They one of them, I think, directed a couple horror films. Or there's a horror film that I'm familiar with that they directed. It's called Southbound. So okay, cool. You got some people that know horror, because Wes Craven, passed away years ago and was part of all these films. And this was one of his franchises that he created. Rest in peace, Wes. So it seems like whether or not people know horror, whoever was writing, directing, was part of this movie did not know Scream. I went into this movie with, yes, low expectations. I seen the trailer and was not captivated at all. I said, well, maybe there'll be something in there that I'll like. Maybe something will pop off, and I'll be like, oh shit, they were saving that. Oh wow, no. There's no clever kills. There's no, the characters are lame. I did not want to be oh, there was no character development. I didn't really want to be that movie reviewer that says that shit, but really, characters were lame. You didn't give a fuck about them. I'll get into that in just a sec. There's no chase scenes, so that suspense that I love from the Scream movies, because there's usually always badass chase scenes. There was none of that. And I don't really want to go into score. Maybe there was a good score. I didn't really pay attention to that. But even if they're like, that's not going to save the fucking movie anyway. You know, like the music or whatever, the sound effects. Like, this film sucks. Scream 5 gets a low 5, not a high 5, and or like, you know, like that. So let's talk about it. We have some new characters and like just some new bullshit plot where this main character, Sam, she has a sister. The movie starts out with Sam's sister being, I believe, they're like the protagonist of the film. So, yes, the movie starts out, the phone call rings, Sam's sister, I forget her name, she's in the kitchen, she's on the phone with her girlfriend, Amber. It's Ghostface. Ghostface keeps her on the phone. So the way he keeps her on the phone, like, I was actually kind of like, you know, I've never seen a Scream movie at all in the theater, so I was like, it was like, oh, I was like, this might be good. No, the whole intro, it was cool how he like got her on the phone, and then like she's on the phone and she's like, well, I'm into elevated horror, and like. And then the movie she says is like The Babadook and Hereditary and The Witch. So, not to go into those movies, like, I like The Babadook up until the last 20 minutes, but like The Witch, Hereditary, hey, I'm not a fan of any like A24, I think they're A24 Studios films. That's okay if you are a fan, sure. I'm not, but So they wanted to make her seem like clever or something like that. Like she knows her horror or something. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys don't mind if I have a little chocolate. She gets attacked by Ghostface, and instead of running, because we always say in the movie, like, come on, bitch, run, and then it takes some time, and eventually they do it, but this girl, she gets attacked by Ghostface, like, through the door, because she goes to go run outside. She gets scared. And then she's like slashed open. She's just like, and you hear that like in the in the trailer they were like, doors unlocked, house unlocked or house locked, and it's like, oh, so Ghostface knows the password or he's hacked into her phone or some shit. Intro's ridiculous. There's no chase scene. She doesn't do shit, this girl. So, Ghostface is in the house, ends up, attacking her in the kitchen, like, steps on her, like, leg. I was like, oh, that's pretty brutal. He, like, stabs her, I think, and then, like, stands over, and he's like, and it's like, scream. And it's like, oh, shit. Like, she just got fucked up. She just got fucking killed. So we believe. Moving on, we meet Sam, the girl's older sister, who is related to Billy Loomis. Whoever wrote this shit, why? Why? But they decided to do that. Whack as fuck. And you ask me why I think it is? Well, I think the way it's done, it's like, we never even get to see who the mom was that, like, slept around with Billy Loomis, like, because that's pretty much the story, that Billy, I guess, fucked this girl when he was in high school, and then this woman had this kid, and like the whole story is ass backward. Like, I don't say ass backwards, but you just don't care. I just don't care about it. And the actress does a shit job because she happens to be like a schizophrenic. I don't mean to do quote unquote, but she's supposed to like see, like, well, she sees Billy Loomis. And he just, like, looks butchered and disgusting. Like, they actually brought, I guess Skeet Ulrich back. And then, like, put his face on, like, the old Billy, like, did CGI. And it just looks really shitty, in my opinion. So, throughout the film, we see her taking pills. And we see her encounters with seeing her dead father, who's talking to her. And it's like, how the fuck does she even know what he sounds like? Like, and she does a shit job, the actress. Like, I hate to shit on her, but someone in another movie review, because I checked a lot of movie reviews, they said, this bitch is bland. And she is. Sam is bland, and the actress that plays her is bland. Like, B-L-A-N-D, capitals. she's fucking bland. She walks around with the face like, in just about everything. I can't stand her. I can't stand these sisters that they made the Sidney Prescotts. So you actually have 3 Sidney Prescotts also in this movie. I don't want to, take up too much time talking about, like, the whole, going into intros. But, like, let's talk about characters. So, one of the, Sidney Prescott, returns, for, like, a little in this movie. Same with Gale Weathers. Same with Dewey Riley, right? And they really shit on all 3 of them. I was going to say, just Dewey, but no, they really shit on, like, Dewey as well. I think he gets the worst. You have, like, they really, I get it that they were trying to also go back to, like, the roots to the first film and pay, like, homage to the first movie with a lot of these Easter eggs. Some things were okay and tolerable, like when Sam's sister in the beginning of the film is talking with Ghostface on the phone, and she's talking about how she likes movies, and then like she pulls like a knife out of like the knife rack holder and puts it back in, like what Drew Barrymore did in the original. But then some things, which I'll get to, were just like fucking just cringe. So supposedly, I think everyone or a lot of the characters, because you have this new teenage squad, are supposed to be like related to certain people from the original like first movie, like, or from like the first like story that happened in Woodsboro. You have Randy's nephew and niece, who one is like the jock and one is the other girl is like the Randy, and like supposedly she knows horror. But she sucks, and I'll get to that too. You have this Asian girl who's just like there. She's kind of like weird. I don't know. You have the whore that's like hooking up with like the jock. She sucks too. Then there's like this dude on the outside that supposedly is related to Stu, and he's like the badass, that pulls up in his car, and I don't know if he goes to the school or he's just like that weirdo that just hangs out by the school that's like already at it, because we had that at my fucking high school, like people that were like graduated but still hung around the high school, whatever. And Dylan Minetti, how could I forget about that? So he's like the only one that I know, because I watched 13 Reasons Why. Yes, I did. And I like Don't Breathe. I like that kid. I do. I like Dylan Minetti. Oh my god. But these characters suck. Even his character sucks. Him and his shitty blonde and brown or black highlights hairstyle he's got going on. Like I said, this movie didn't give me what I wanted when it came to horror. Even the kills were lame. Stu's nephew or whoever he is, family member, gets like killed in the back of a bar. He goes into the bar and starts some shit with like, these the teenager squad that's hanging out there, and he gets told to leave, and then Ghostface just appears, fucks around with his car, and then stands behind him and like shanks him in the neck. I'm like, oh. Ghostface is going to get in the car and, like, fucking run him over, or he's going to tie him to, like, a pole, and he's going to, like, drive away and, rip this kid apart. But, like, no, he just gets stabbed in the neck. And he's just thrown to the side. It's like, okay, well, they'll give me more. They'll give me something more. But they don't. like I said, the kills are there's nothing iconic in this Scream 5 at all. Let's move along to Dewey. Our original Dewey. So Dewey is thrown in this film. He's a bit of like a hermit, the old man that is like a loner living in a trailer. He's no longer together with Gale. He's no longer the sheriff of Woodsboro. He's an alcoholic. He's a scrub. He's like all, got like, what is it like, aftershave. Well, not aftershave, but like he's got like he's got some shit, he's got some shit going on his face. He just looks like shit. So Dewey is just thrown in. Sam and her boyfriend go and are like, hey, yo, Ghostface is back. You have to believe us. We need your help. And again, her acting sucks, this actress. The one dude from the TV show The Boys, I should have probably, wrote people's names down. Like, he was good. But, like, I don't know. Something about this chick, she just didn't do it for me. Just sucked that she had to be the main character. Anyway, Dewey's like, no, get out of here, bye. But anyway, he ends up showing up to the house. I guess he follows them, and they end up going to Randy's Randy's sister's house, where the niece and nephew are, and they kind of give like Dewey his music, if you know, like it's like his cowboy like theme, like when he like walks up, and it's like bam bam or some shit like that. I don't know, but Dewey's cool. And he was just like, he was killed off. He gets killed in this movie, and it sucks. Like, like what the fuck? Like, that's okay if you wanted to do that, but the way they did it, and I have to say, spoiler alert, if you're watching this is a fucking spoiler. A whole spoiler review. Dewey gets killed in the hospital by, yes, one of the Ghostface. There's 2 Ghostface killers, and it's like, for Dewey to have survived 4 of these films, we just know that that's not how Dewey would go out. He's with Sam, they end up rescuing Sam's sister. Sam's boyfriend was rendered unconscious because he got into a fight with Ghostface. And I might jump back at this scene. I said I wanted to like really try to compact this, didn't want to go like over like 20 minutes. But so he puts they go in the elevator. Dewey ends up like putting some bullets back in his revolver, while I think he unloaded some shots at Ghostface because there was like this whole thing going on, which I really don't want to go into, where he gets off the elevator with Sam and they surprise Ghostface before he kills Sam's sister. I think her name is Tara. I don't know. Anyway, so they rescue Sam's sister. He puts them on the elevator. He decides to start walking back. He starts putting the bullets in his gun. And then he walks right up to Ghostface, very fucking close, puts the gun, and then his phone rings. And he, like, looks at it, and then Ghostface, like, takes a knife out and stabs him. And, like, does, like, kind of like, it was cool, like, rips up, and he's like, it's just pretty brutal. It's like, oh, no, Dewey. It's like, but let's backtrack real quick. I know we know the real fucking Dewey from the first 4 films. If you've seen them, you know that he survived this shit, and he's not a fucking idiot. He would have and been like 6 foot distance and been like, boom, 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 like headshots. He wouldn't have just walked right. No. That's not Dewey wouldn't have done that shit. But this Dewey did. And Dewey got killed, for it. And I think it was like Gail calling him or some shit. It really, really ridiculous and stupid the way he dies. And not to mention, I'll just say it right now. The 2 killers happens to be Sam's boyfriend and this Asian girl that was like part of like the clique. And the Asian girl's like a small, skinny little girl. And they had an altercation. Dewey and Dewey and Ghostface, and because the one kid's like left unconscious, so it's obviously her in the Ghostface costume that's killing Dewey. But it's like, how the fuck is she tossing him? Like, she's like half his size, half his fucking age. He's a grown man. It's Dewey, but no, she overpowers him and fucking kills him. And I think it's during like the part where he like looks down at his phone. I don't know. Anyway, so let's jump ahead. This movie really just jumps around, so forgive me if I'm jumping around. It's like characters are wasted, like Dylan Minetti and his mom, which was also weird too, because like his mom happens to be the cop who with the blonde hair. I forget her name. It's like Marley Shelton or some shit like that. She happens to be in one of my favorite slasher films, Valentine. She's the main character in that. So I really like her. I don't know how the fuck she has this kid who's like in high school, they didn't show that in the fourth one. Maybe he was just somewhere else. Whatever. But she tries to like rescue him while he's in the shower at home because Ghostface calls her while she's driving. It's all this dramatic scene, and she just gets stabbed outside her house in the middle of the daytime. Dylan Minetti's walking around the house and then it's like every scene, you know, he opens up the fridge door, he walks over here, you think Ghostface is going to be there. Nope. You think he's going to be there. Nope. He's going to be there. Nope. And then the door is like a little crack open. Like there was room for like some good stuff, like a chase scene. You know, maybe like Ghostface chases after him and he runs, you know, and he escapes out the window and then trips over his mom and sees his mom like dead on the fucking like, you know, like right outside his house. And then like there was just a lot of shit they could have done. But nope. He goes to the door to like go close it, and he turns around and Ghostface is just there and pushes and like, you know, they struggle for a bit and then pushes the knife through his windpipe. So you have like two like, you know, like death scenes that have to do with like a knife, you know, whatever. It's just his character was shitted on. I think he was just brought into this movie, so it's just like, oh, people who know him, you know, will go see it. Let's see. I'm sorry if I'm rambling. Scream means a lot to me. And they fucked up. The end of this movie is ridiculous. It's like a mimic of Scream 4. It doesn't end in a hospital, but it ends at Stu's house. Stu's old house is where there's a party going on, and it's the Asian girl who's having the party. I believe it's her house. Like I said, she's the killer, and so is Sam's boyfriend. I was a little shocked with Sam's boyfriend, but not when it came to the girl. The jock, we think, gets killed at one point, along with his sister. They don't. They survive. Pretty bullshit, if you ask me, because I feel like nobody died in this movie. Only like the characters that maybe you cared about. I'm sorry, I'm like just getting like tired of I don't know, of just talking about this movie because it's just sad what they did. Sydney, Gail, Sam, her sister, and the boyfriend all end up at Stu's house. There's a bunch of kids, they all end up getting kicked out. The only ones that stay are like the ones that were part of this clique. Right. So it's like at first Sam and her boyfriend and her sister end up going to the house because they were going to get out of town, but she needed her asthma inhaler, so they had to go there, and then, you know, the boyfriend set that up, you know, he hid her fucking inhaler. Oh, yo, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I don't even like know what else to like. I'm like rambling right now. I'm rambling. Scream 5 is trash, and it's not that if people like this movie, because there's a lot of people who do, and I've seen, you know, I've been using Instagram and I see like a lot of people have like done positive like reviews, and I've even seen a lot of YouTube movie reviews, and that's great. But I'm just so let down, you know, because it's almost like this is a Hollywood big production film, and yet like you go and spend money, you go and spend your time to go like watch him film, and yeah, not every movie is gonna, you know, be like 100 out of 100, but like it's been 10, 11 years. Give us something fucking new. I mean, why not start the movie out and have it be a guy, right? I don't think they've ever done that. I mean, they did that in Scream 3 with Cotton Weary when he was on the phone, and, you know, they have the woman disguising, you have Ghostface disguising as a woman, you know? But I think that would even be different to have, like, a girl, you know, talking, you know, scary, you know, to a guy, you know? Maybe he could be, like, a straight dude, you know? Or a gay guy. Or maybe, like, a transgender person. I don't fucking know. Do something different, though. And, like I said, they're like the reveal at the end really didn't do it for me. When you had these characters, like I said, they mimicked Scream 4's ending, Sydney's in the kitchen with Gail. They have guns pressed, to them, and obviously this is a mimic to, this is all this movie's been doing, was mimicking like part one. It's really actually it's so cringy. But anyway, so there, Sam's sister's somewhere hiding in the house, and they're like, go find her, and the girl's like, I can't find her, and then they end up all fighting, and Sam ends up taking on her boyfriend. Gail and Sydney end up like fucking up this little Asian girl in this kitchen, and it's funny, but like, so the end kind of gave me like Scream vibes. I was like, oh, okay, but I've seen this before in like in like the other fucking two in part one and part four, right? And it was like, what was their motives? Their motives were just like, oh, to be survivors, and because we like to I don't even really know what their motives were. I think it was to be like survivors, but I'm like, wasn't that like, or to be be famous or some shit like that? I don't know. I'm like, shit's already been done before. So anyway, there's another cringy moment where we see that nasty, ugly face of Billy Loomis, where Sam and her boyfriend are fighting on the bottom of like the stairwell in the house, and then you see like a knife by like this umbrella rack or whatever, and you see Billy's face like pointing to the knife, and we didn't need this. We did not. Who asked for this? I think I'm like, what the fuck? This shit could have been cool, like having him back in the movie. I think there could have been like some real dark fucking moments where like this girl could have been like, we could have seen her like going to sleep and like she's having night tremors and she's waking up and because she just had a dream about killing people, or she's like seeing she's seeing Billy Loomis, like maybe like stitching up a ghost face robe or something and like looking at her, like there could have been like, it could have been done different, but instead they decided to go full out like Clay Jensen from fucking 13 Reasons Why, like season 2 and 3 and 4, like when he like loses his fucking mind. I think actually that's what happened. Having Clay Jensen in this movie, it rubbed off on this bitch Sam. So she's schizo now. His illness, somehow transferred to this bitch. I don't know. Whack. Anyway, so she stabs her boyfriend. And then he's like still talking at one point. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, I wanted my ending or something. She's like, here it is, or some bullshit. I remember the person who was sitting a couple seats away from me, like they laughed at that too. Like when he was still talking after just being fucking stabbed a bunch of times. I don't know. There's nothing I really liked about this movie. Surprise. Scream 5 is a huge letdown. They even did some real shitty, shady shit where like, if you know about the Scream franchise, you know that they have stab movies that are based on the Woodsboro killings, right? So Hollywood is like made like money off of these killings that have happened in the movie. So it's pretty I don't know if the word's ironic. It's just like that's just what they've done. And however, they talk about Stab 8 and how it's directed in the films by Rian Johnson. And if you don't know who he is, Rian Johnson, that's a good thing. He sucks. He's one of he's like the director responsible for like pumping out The Last Jedi, and I think they were trying to say like fuck him, honestly. But they were trying to say that there's toxic fan bases or fandoms or something like that through YouTube, and well, I don't know, maybe I'm one of them. Sorry, but yeah, I don't mean to go into a Star Wars rant. If you know Star Wars, you know that motherfucker really fucked up Star Wars, and I think they were trying to say something that, oh yeah, whoever hates Stab 8, is like, sucks or something like that. I don't know. I seen some shit. I'm like, why even throw that in the movie? I was like, what, It's like, fuck you people. Trying to, say people suck for having their opinions they have. Anyway, this has gone to 30 minutes now. I really wanted it to be a short, quick review, but it has been a rant. So I do apologize about that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in this movie that was ridiculous. I mean, there was a whole lot. I think I shared about the part when, what's her name? Randy's niece is like watching one of the Stab movies, and it's based on, what happened in the first Scream movie when Randy's like, behind you, and she's like, behind you, and then like Scream's actually right there, and I thought he or she was just gonna like let down the fucking knife into her head. I was like ready for like something. This movie didn't do shit for me, Like I really was let down. So this has been my rant. This has been my tangent. I knew I had to do this though. Being the Scream guy that I am, I had to like voice my opinion, and I feel better. So, if you did like Scream, feel free to comment your your opinions. Sure, I'm all for like connecting and making friends. I didn't make this review to argue or to put others down. I don't believe in that. There's a lot of people who I know really fucking enjoyed this movie. I'm just not one of them. And I think I stated all my reasons as to why this didn't really feel like a Scream movie. It didn't really feel like a slasher. Like, usually, like, you're able to be like, oh, shit, yeah, she died like that. Oh, shit, yeah, he got fucked up. Oh, yeah, like, and you go back. And usually you get, like, you get, like, pulled in by the characters. And this didn't do that for me. I didn't feel that. Like, I wish that... I know I keep going back to Dylan Minetti, but I guess he was, like, the only, like, one... He was like one of the characters that like I knew like from that I was like, oh, I know that kid. I think he should have been like one of the killers. I think they could have done something really great where like they trick us into thinking like he has his mom killed, and then like he sets that all up and he has Ghostface attack him, and he's working, and then like I mean, I think he could have given us something. I'm like, why even give us like this dumb this actress who doesn't even know how to like really get into like showing us like what being like a psycho is, or having like a psychotic like breakdown. Like, she's popping pills throughout the movie, but I would have liked to have seen her maybe, she's waking up and she's like dyeing her hair because it's like fucking gray streaks from her like, being all like schizo, seeing like her dead father, maybe we're seeing her meet with like a psychiatrist, but we're given dumb fucking scenes. I don't know. Where like Randy's fucking niece, when they're all sitting in Randy's sister's house, all the kids, and Dewey's there, and they're all talking about, it's a requel. I'm like, what the fuck's a requel? Like, I never heard of that shit before. Did they just make that up? I'm like, I didn't even want to look it up on Google. I'm like, fuck that. And this bitch was like, she pissed me off. She was whack. She was really lame. She was supposed to be like all into horror too. Like, she was supposed to be like the real like horror like fucking fanatic. And I think she brings up like, what the fuck's his name? Like Jordan Peele. I'm like, he like made like fucking 2 movies, and like they're not like real, like they're good. I enjoy them, but like, you're gonna talk about horror, like, and horror icons, like, what the fuck? Where, John Carpenter, hello, Toby Hooper, Stephen King, like there's others out there. Like, even we could like throw in Fede Alvarez, more new. Who's Ajay, I always butcher his fucking name, Aja Alejandre or whatever. He did High Tension, one of my fucking favorite like horror films. I just seen the movie Antlers, like, who I forget his name that did that one. I just watched it. He also did, like, Pan's Labyrinth. Fuck, what's his name? I fucking forget. But, it's just... I don't think this movie gave, like, any... It did not feel horror for me. Like, it's weird, because this is, like, Scream, and it feels horror, but it's not. I'm actually looking up Antler's movie, because I just want to be able to say who the director was. Oh, that's fucking weird. It says Scott Cooper. Oh, it's produced by Guillermo del Toro. So that's who. Yeah, he's done some like freaky shit, like Hellboy, which isn't a horror movie, but like the old ones were good. Like I said, anyway, this movie's is a disappointment. Sidney Prescott, I don't even know why she was in the movie. Gail Weathers, I don't even know why she was in the movie. Because we didn't even have like Gail Weathers running around doing her investigative work. You know what I mean? It was like she was just there. Sidney Prescott was just like, she was just there. Like, just like they were just there, just to like bring. Oh, they're from the original movies, and this Scream 5 is like all about the original movie. But it sucks because you look at all the Scream films. Like Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, like they're all like their own. Scream 1's like, the first one. It's like everything's all new. Scream 2 is the sequel. Scream 3 is the trilogy. Scream 4 is almost like a remake. Like they all have like killers that have like these different motives. And the motives are pretty legit. Again, Scream 5, it's like, what did you do different? Yeah, Scream 5 gets a low 5. So, I give them credit for putting it out there, making an attempt. But maybe there was a lot of shit cut out, and maybe it would have made it better. But again, I don't really plan on watching this movie. I did take a little like 11:17 poster that they were giving out when I went back to the movies a couple like nights ago, because I went to go see another movie. But I'm really happy I made this review. Oh my gosh, really? So that is it. It's been close to 40 minutes, and I'm really just happy to have put this out there. It's my honest review, my honest thoughts, opinions on Scream 5. So feel free to like, comment, dislike, whatever you want to do. Subscribe. I'm trying to like really grow my channel. I want to connect with people. Living out here on Long Island is like fucking a little dreadful at times. It's like boring. I'm like, don't really have anyone to talk and discuss horror movies with. But yeah. I think that is it. So thanks for tuning in. And remember, if you like this movie, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, shit, it's just a fucking movie, and really at the end, but if and if you didn't, whatever it is, feel free to comment. I'm all about it. Well, thanks again, and have a good one. Peace.